In response to our opponents, I wanted to touch on a couple of main points that they talked about. First of all, they said that it was going to be expensive to implement the DREAM Act, but the DREAM Act application will be responsible for paying the fees. So according to Section 286M of Immigration and Nationality Act provisions, the cost of having U.S. Customs and Immigration Services process DREAM Act application will be covered by the application fees. The DREAM Act will actually save taxpayers money. A RAND study from 1999 shows that this raising the college graduation rate for of Hispanic and non-Hispanic whites would increase spending in public education by 10% nationwide. But the costs would be more than offset by saving in public health and benefits, and as well as increased tax revenues resulting in higher incomes. For example, a 30-year-old Mexican immigrant woman with college degree will pay $5,300 more in taxes and use $3,900 less in government expenses. They also stated that it would encourage people basically to break the law. But just wanted to kind of put it in perspective. Crossing the border is a civil offense, so it's kind of the same as getting a speeding ticket. So my response to that is that the argument is basically a civil offense, not a criminal offense. And I wanted to point out that on this fact, because so many people basically condone them as criminals, but it is it doesn't basically fit the criteria of a criminal. And while I do think that we shouldn't encourage any form of law breaking, let's just keep in mind that that this is a civil offense, and we classify lawless. We so when discussing what's illegal about undocumented workers, let's also be accurate about describing the seriousness of the crime. And also, I wanted to remind you that certain people who are brought to the U.S., basically the DREAM Act will only apply to certain people that were brought to the U.S. at a young age by their parents. This was basically not their choice. The Wall Street Journal published an editorial that argues restrictionists dismiss the DREAM Act as an amnesty that rewards people who enter the country illegally. But the bill targets individuals that were brought here by the parents as children. What it is to be gained by holding otherwise law-abiding young people who had no say in coming to this country, responsible for illegal actions of others. And also, I just wanted to state kind of on the fact that immigration will increase. And this is false, because this does not apply for immigrants that will be immigrating into the U.S. It's to the current 2.1 million population that's currently living in the United States. So it only applies to a limited amount of people. And it also will limit the petitions for relatives, because a lot of people think that because they're going to become citizens, then they're going to petition for their relatives. But if they do petition for their relatives, it's actually the same process that is right now. So according to the White House blog, it says that even then, they would be subject to the same annual CAPS waiting period in order to petition for relatives. The bottom line is that it would take many years before parents or siblings can enter the country legally if these people were to petition for them. And